guys, it's Andy from The New Divide and Aaron, and we're here with Jesse. We have been discussing your last name. How is it actually said?
Well, in a lot of circles, it's just Meyer, but it has also been known to be Myers-Hoffen.
That's how it is in your phone, correct?
So, quick, this is a stupid story, quick. I opened up my phone, and I texted Jesse, and his last name in it was Myers-Hoffen. I'm not sure why or how. It wasn't me, it wasn't him, so...
We are in Boise, Idaho today. Technically, maybe not Boise. What city are we in right now?
Well, we are in Garden City.
Garden City.
Garden City is now embellished by Boise.
Okay.
It's within the city limits of Boise, but it still retains the name Garden City.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to kind of tell them where we met, Jesse, even in the beginning, and how
Yeah.
we lived to be here today?
Yeah, so back in Vancouver, Washington, where we all live, he had lived there. You and your wife lived there for what, 5 years?
Yeah, we lived in Portland for like 2.5 years, and then we
Okay.
moved to Vancouver
Okay.
for
And
2.5
then you
years.
you're a worship leader at a church called Kesed.
Yep.
For how long?
Like 2.5 years or so.
Okay. So we had, me and my twin brother started visiting Kesed, and I think we just kind of met you, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I think
And
just
the rest
really-
is history. Right?
The rest is history. I think I just really enjoyed like who you were and just,
Yeah, man.
just the way that you kind of like worship and stuff. But
And I just loved your twin beards with your brother. Couldn't get enough of that.
We'll have to have Paul on an episode just so
Yeah.
the whole episode will just be Paul and Aaron sitting there looking at the camera with their beards.
I have to say, on Sunday, so these guys, the New Divide, did worship at Vineyard Boise yesterday, and it was pretty awesome to see Doug and Aaron like right next to each other. For a moment, I was like, this is almost ZZ Top-esque, because you both had your beards like, and you were right next to each other, and it just,
yeah, right.
it was an amazing.
They had
moment.
been stuck to one side
Yeah.
altogether. Well, you
Yeah.
kind of said where we were then. Jesse
Yeah.
is the worship director. What's your official title?
I'm worship pastor.
Worship pastor here at Vineyard Boise.
I'm also known by many at the church as the Reverend.
The Reverend.
So,
the Reverend
I mean-
Meyer-Hoffen?
Yeah, you don't have to call me that, but
Okay.
it's
Well,
Good, I like it.
today the Reverend is going to be showing us what he does for home roasting. He actually has a roaster, and apparently it's in this bag. And we're just gonna actually walk through roasting a batch of beans and kind of get his tips, what he's learned. Obviously, part of Coffee with the New Divide is just learning the science of it and figuring it out. And so we're excited to make some coffee with you today. So
well,
you
so
wanna just
two things.
begin?
One, I got to give credit. I got to give a shout out to a guy named Rex Bledsoe.
Bledsoe.
Rex Bledsoe.
Okay.
Cool.
He's a bass player at the Vineyard, and he's the one that first got me into home roasting. And number two, I'm not an expert, so any coffee experts out there, don't crucify what I have to say. I'm going to do my best.
Cool.
That's half the fun of this,
Yeah,
though, is
we're all
figuring it
kinda-
out.
We're all
Exactly.
learning together.
So the cool thing about home roasting is to home roast, all you need is in the space that this bag can contain.
Wow.
Which we
So-
wanted to actually highlight real quick that this
Yeah.
is a diaper bag for dads.
Yeah, this
So
right
any
here
dads out there that
says
need a
diaper dude.
bag.
And yeah, I have 4 kids, so this has probably had other things in it besides coffee.
And we're gonna drink
roasters.
coffee that's made in the diaper bag.
Yes, so let's take this out first. This is the main component. This is our heating element. Is it
You
gonna
got
reach?
power under here. Yeah,
We do.
you're good.
There we go. Okay. Then we've got our little glass cylinder that will hold the beans. And this is our topper, so.
And then real quick though, like we want to just give
Yeah.
a little praise to how you got this wonderful roaster.
A little praise to oh, that's true. Well,
Yeah.
my
Very important.
wonderful wife, Larissa,
Of how many years?
coming up on 12.
12
in
years.
September. My wonderful wife on Father's Day last summer,
Yeah.
she totally surprised me. Like,
Wow.
I mean,
Amazing.
it was one of the times I've been most surprised by a gift. So thank you, babe.
That's cool. That's a great out of the box thing.
It was.
Gift.
It was. All right, so that's it. We can put this diaper bag away.
Come on.
All right, so green beans, the one thing to know is green beans can store for like a couple years or
Wow.
more, and they don't really degrade in quality. The biggest thing is then once you roast them, then they immediately start to degrade in quality.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest reason why roasting at home is cool, because you can You just roast a little bit, drink it in a few days, and roast another batch.
Oh, that's great.
So
how many grams can you do in this
um,
roaster?
it's basically about, give or take, 4 ounces of coffee. Yeah, so it's not this is definitely not something for anybody who's trying to make coffee to sell. It's, you'd be here roasting coffee all day long. But basically it's super simple. This coffee is a Guatemalan, I can't say the rest of it.
Well, let's try though.
Okay,
let's
try it.
because we're
Give
on
it a shot.
coffee podcast. We like to butcher names. Guatemalan Asatenengo Don Julio. That sounds right.
No, it does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Julio.
This is like the region in Don Julio is like maybe be the plant, the farmer.
Now do you get this here in Boise? Where's this company?
No, actually, Berman, I'm not sure where I think they're somewhere in the Midwest. They're like in Wisconsin or somewhere. Berman Coffee. But yeah, just go online.
Yeah.
And they have, basically, you can order single origin from pretty much any coffee growing country in the world right there.
And what does like a 2-pound bag generally cost?
So they give you a little bit of a discount if you buy more than 1 pound at a time. But like for 1 pound of, like this one, for example, this is Ethiopian natural wash Yirgacheffe, which this is awesome. And if you buy this roasted by like a boutique roaster, it's probably going to cost you like $18 for a 12 ounce bag.
Right.
So at Berman, you can buy this for, it was like $7.99 a pound.
Okay.
So pretty good cost savings too. That's one of the other benefits of home roasting. So super simple. We're going to do this little deal. This is about 1 ounce. So you just do 4 of these.
So you don't want to actually, are you going to measure it?
Nope.
No, he's just using his ouncer.
His
ouncer?
Yep. I think with roasting, it's not.
No, it's
It
necessary.
doesn't need to be quite as exact as when you're doing the brewing.
Yeah. We're gonna make about 4 ounces
Yep.
of the Yirgacheffe.
Yep. All right. So now the way that this is an air roaster, a fluid bed roaster, and you'll see why they call it a fluid bed roaster once we get going, because it basically blows hot air through the beans and they start to, jump around. It looks like it looks like fluid.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So it's just going to blow hot air over it. And then this it's got a screen in here so that it catches all the chaff as it blows up and catches it in there.
Cool. And do you kind of have to clean that out or wash it out?
Yeah, you'll see. It'll be cool once it's done. Like every time you roast, you want to open it up and like all the chaff, I guess.
Yeah.
All that stuff will come off.
Now, what temperature do you have a temperature
Yeah.
you set it to? What's
Yep,
that?
so it's
What do you-
super easy. There's 3 options: medium, or low, high, and medium, and
Super
or
precise.
low, medium, or high. Yeah. And in the research that I didn't do a ton of research, but I just read a little bit before I started doing it. And Rex, the guy that I told you about, gave me a book. And what I read is, what I like in coffee is I like acidity. I like that, where you can taste kind of the fruitiness, and you're tasting more of the bean and where it comes from than a roasted flavor. And so they recommended that you want to roast it hot and fast and short, and basically get it to the first crack, and then you start cooling it down right away. So what I do, there's all kinds of different ways to do it, and mine's so easy. It's just crazy. But I just put it on high and I set my timer. It actually, one thing I found is it depends on how warm your room is. So the warmer the room, the faster the beans are going to roast. Kind of obvious, but so we'll set it for 6 minutes. It probably will hit first crack before then.
Okay.
And what we'll do when it does is we'll just move it down to cool, and then it'll start to blow cold air.
Oh, okay.
And that's another thing, you want your beans to cool down. Like when you want them to be done, you want to try to get them as cool as you can, as quick as you can, or else they just keep roasting, and they'll go to a point that you might not want them to. So
I see you here have a little
Yeah.
fan speed.
So fan speed as well. This is basically how much air is going to be blowing up. The higher the fan speed, the hotter and the faster they're going to roast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got it on high and the full
speed.
fan. So it's not going to take long to roast these beans.
Cool.
So you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready
We're gonna roast it, and then we'll start the roasting process, and then cut back in because it's gonna be pretty loud. So
It is going to be loud. Well, let's see how loud it is. Let's just give it a shot.
you can already start to see it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And what's cool is as the beans get all this hot air over them, they start to dry out. and so they get lighter, and then they start to really move. Like, 'cause right now they're kind of heavy, and as they dry out, then they'll start to really.
That makes sense. You maybe lose some of the moisture in there.
Yeah. The funny thing is, roasting coffee doesn't smell like ground roasted coffee. It smells like you'll start to smell. It's not like. Actually, we should probably open some doors.
I know we're gonna go in the roasting location shot, so I just lost.
So right now, we're starting to hear the first crack.
Yep.
And are you going to wait for the second crack?
Definitely not.
You're not going to wait for the second crack?
That. Nope. A lot of times, if you wait that long, you're going to start to really just taste the roasted flavor of the charred bean.
Okay.
And, some coffees are, better that way, but like an Ethiopian coffee that has so much nice acidity and like berry notes and stuff. So I switched it to cool because I don't want it to go too far. Like, even once you hit cool, it's going to still be roasting.
So now it's just blowing cool air through.
Yep. So now it's going to blow cool air for about 3 minutes. All right. So it's done cooling down. So typically they recommend that you let the beans off gas, they call it, for about a day. Once they go through that roasting process, there's some chemical stuff that happens in the beans that it just needs to sit in the open air for a little bit.
Right.
And then seal it up after that to keep it fresh. But traditionally, when coffee first was cultivated and people started drinking it, they would roast it over the fire, and they drink it right away. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go,
right over the fire.
We're going caveman style.
That's right.
Caveman? No, I don't think they were roasting much.
I don't think, they probably weren't.
We're going old style.
Old school.
So what does it look like?
This would be cool.
Yeah,
let's take this off now.
bad boy?
You'll note it if you touch it, guys. You'll see it's fairly warm still.
Yeah.
And inside here, all the chaff.
Yep.
Wow.
Coffee. And there's still some
Still quite a bit on
there,
there,
that'll stay in there too. Right here, I'll pour a couple in your. Open your hand. There you go.
Cool.
Still going to be fairly warm. How'd that taste?
Really good, actually.
And there's so the one thing is with this kind of you never can get 100% consistent, but see that bean right there?
Yeah, of course.
Pull that one out. That one barely got,
You do that, maybe even dependent too on different, if you got a more expensive machine or whatever.
Probably.
Roaster,
or more even.
More consistent.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Although they say that this kind of a fluid bed roaster compared with a drum roaster. The drum roaster, what can happen is beans can stick to the edges and they'll get burnt.
Oh, okay.
This is actually a more consistent method, but it's harder to produce on a big scale.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't use them.
Because your air
Yeah.
flow would have to be nuts.
Aaron, we're leaving this one out.
Oh.
So we will let this cool for a few minutes and cut back in, and let's make some of this.
Sounds
A
good.
little sooner maybe than recommended, but we're going to just try a fresh roast.
We're eager.
We're eager. We have no patience today. Awesome.
So,
We've made some coffee.
We
Start
have.
to finish here.
Yep.
it looks like you can brew coffee right after you roast it,
You can.
after all.
Yeah.
But let's see how it tastes.
Let's say we'll taste it and see if that's true.
I'll give you the details of what we made. We did a 15-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
For every 1 gram of coffee that we put in there, we use 15 grams of water. So we use a Kalita wave, obviously. And we end up with a little less than 500 milliliters of coffee
It
total.
looks really good.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's darker than I anticipated because these beans don't look
Yeah.
quite
I think
that
it might be
dark.
Part of the lighting too.
Could be. We've pre-warmed our vessels. You guys want to get in on this?
Oh yeah.
This is today we're drinking an Ethiopian Yirgacheffe by Meyerhofen Roasters. Meyerhofen Roastery,
I like the sound of that.
based on Boise, Idaho. Using whatever mugs were found in this building.
Oh.
I say we are gonna
Yeah.
do cheers.
We're all just
cheers.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get a little.
It smells like a Yirgacheffe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you could taste the.
Dude, that's pretty good.
It's good. You can taste it's like raw, like it's fresh.
Yeah.
It just came out of
Just came out of the oven.
Right.
Or the roaster. I'm impressed, honestly. It's
I
better
am
than I would have
impressed. Yeah,
expected
for sure.
it to taste, just
Really?
given our tools and where
Yeah.
we've set it up and
Yeah.
what we've done. We are hanging out with Jesse Meyer from Boise, Idaho,
Yeah.
drinking some home roasted Yirgacheffe. Thanks so much for taking the time.
My
Do you have a
pleasure.
Twitter or anything people can follow you on?
I'm fairly.
Or what do you do? Do you do
I'm
the
fairly
internet?
social media.
He's just a dad.
I'm savvy. I've got 4 kids and a wife.
He brought his roaster in a diaper bag.
That's right.
So
I'm on Facebook with my wife. We have
Oh.
a shared account.
Okay.
We roll that way. So there's nothing you can really do to find me or track me down.
awesome. Well, we will be back through. Thanks so much for having coffee with the
Yeah.
New Divide and taking time to give us
Yeah,
just your tips that you've learned. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher or any of those things. We're coming to you from Boise, Idaho. Thanks for having coffee with the New Divide.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, really bad.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Oh.
Oh, hey, Jonathan.
What is this?
We just
Make some
roasted some coffee.
You roasting coffee?
What were you doing?
Without me?
Give it a shot.
I was in the bathroom.
That whole hour-long roasting process?
So these are green beans. Those are brown beans. Okay. And this is brown water. Okay.